Okay, Val, I'm
Hey,
excited to get chatting about the word selfish.
Lisa, I can't wait to have this conversation with you. We're already feeling the vibes, right?
Uh-huh.
The
Exactly.
energy is high today. So, yeah, we're coming in hot. I'm sure we're going to have a lot to talk about. I mean, we've been already kind of chatting about like the word selfish and why it's a dirty word for women. Why are we so scared of this word? I have a lot to say about that. I'm sure you do too.
Yeah, and I really want to hear from you because we're both writing the books.
That's right.
But Val, yours is coming out soon. I think September 3rd, and it really is honing in on that word, selfish. So I want to dig in and talk about that. And I think what's going to be so fun about our conversation today is that we are both here to empower women.
That's
You
right.
know, I know that you help women after divorce. I've helped women after divorce, through divorce, around divorce, through cancer, through, any hard time. It's
Mm.
just empowering them even to do life different, to do it better at any
Mhm.
age. I mean, I'm talking
Mhm.
50 and up.
Hell yeah, I'm 56. My birthday's on August 20th. I'll be 57.
And then you'll catch up to me.
Okay. And I'm telling you, 50s are awesome, but it is an invitation, whether you're 40, 50, 60, whatever. It's an invitation to examine your life and look at, okay, where do I want to do things differently? Like you said,
Mhm.
what's not working? What do I want more of? And it really is the time of reinvention. And midlife women are rocking our stuff. Like we are out here making things happen. And so that is the invitation. But it starts with a reckoning, as I call it, a reckoning of like where I am and how did I get here and what isn't working. We have to start there.
Yeah, I want to delve into that more, and I've got a little story for you.
Love
So,
it.
and I had been like doing all the work, right? Like the coaching and I was so excited because I really didn't start my business until I was late 40s, and it was
Yeah.
so fun to be excited about this. But it hit me over the head. So I have a baby by far. I've got grandkids with my older kids, and then we've got this baby that we adopted.
Mm.
And this is a couple of years ago, and we're going into the hot cathedral for her graduation ceremony. And we get to sit by our kiddos, and I'm walking in with my hubby and my daughter, and it's super hot, and there's no air conditioning. And I'm totally going, oh my gosh, Sophia's not going to make it. She's got that huge. What is she? Oh, how is she going to survive? And I'm all worried about her. And then I look at my husband. I'm like, we are way up at the front. If that guy has to go to the bathroom, what is he going to do? And I sat down, and suddenly I went, how the hell do I feel? I mean,
Mm.
I'm hot.
Hmm.
I mean, take care of mama.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny? And a switch went, and I went, even though I've been doing all this work, it is so ingrained in my head
Yeah.
that I don't even really, we don't think about ourselves. And here's the thing that I've learned is that we can't be good examples. We can't really serve God or people unless we're taking care of ourselves. So it's really
Yeah.
not selfish.
Yeah, exactly. That's that moment, right? Where you kind of wake up to the pattern, the program, and how our brains have gotten so wired and conditioned from childhood and up to be selfless. And selfless, I live most of my life with the selfless, badge of honor, thinking I
Mhm.
was doing life right, putting everybody else first. And I ended up 2 divorces. I was in an
Oh.
emotionally abusive marriage, and I was desperately unhappy. And so at the end of 2019, I knew something had to change. I had that moment, that cathedral moment,
Yeah.
right? I call it the sofa moment because I was on my sofa in the middle of the night after yet another fight, another argument, crying, and it was like I had that moment of like, never again. Like something has to change and it has to be me. Like I have to change how I'm showing up in my life. And it was that moment that started the whole year of 2020, which I decided, hey, selfless, which I see as kind of less of myself, right?
Mhm.
That's how I was doing life. Let me try something different. What if I was selfish for a whole year? What if I chose me for an entire year and did everything according to what was right for me? Now, for me, that was radical. And it sent me on an entire journey of self-awareness and an understanding of why women have to prioritize ourselves first. And not only for ourselves, but then when we give, it's from overflow. It's from overflow because we're so full of ourself.
Yeah. And as you're talking, I'm just thinking and so in agreement with you about, I think I always thought I wanted to be like self-righteous and helping people, and God wanted me to do this. And you want to know what? We are daughters of the King, and we are here to be filled and enjoy life. And then did you find, I'm so curious, Val, because I'm not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find that you actually ended up helping more people when you took care of yourself?
1000%. Because how could I help people when I'm like exhausted, overwhelmed, burnt
Yes.
out, struggling, low levels of income, low levels of energy? So that selfish year was really like a stripping away of a lot of those programs and conditioning and a lot of healing. And then I started getting my energy back after that year. And my book is called The Selfish Year. It's about that year. But after that is when things started to change. And that's when I started believing in myself more. And I started my podcast. I wrote my book. My business exploded, and now I'm like running retreats. I'm speaking, I have a global business. That all happened because I was selfish. And, I say to women, like, you have to be fabulously selfish if you want to actually see your dreams come true, because nobody's going to do it for you. It's up to you. And if you are not taking care of yourself and tending to your own inner garden, as I call it, right, then where is that energy going to come from?
Mm-hmm.
And
Amen.
that was a hard lesson for me to learn.
Well, and so I'm so interested in your year, because this is a journey, right? And there can be, and I went through something really hard where I had stage 1 breast cancer, but I had to go through all kinds of treatment, not fun treatment. And it was scary and hard. And that was an aha moment. I like the cathedral moment better.
Yeah.
Than I don't want to say cancer moment,
Well,
but
yeah.
it was an awakening of holy shit balls. Something's got it. I should ask, can we swear on your
Oh, I
podcast?
swear a lot. I don't know about you.
I never do.
Oh, yeah. We're a person over at the Selfish Woman.
But I was just like, something's got to change. Something isn't right. I was not living for joy.
Yeah.
I was not being joyful in community with other women. And
Mm.
I want to hear more about your year, because this is what I've been finding. It's so hard to change those neural pathways. So
Yeah.
even though I'm big into coaching and I believe in it, but you can do everything you can, but if you don't believe it, and sometimes you think you believe it, like it doesn't make sense that you don't believe it, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't change that neural pathway,
Mm-hmm.
you can't take action and actually live it and believe it. And I started doing like some NLP, neuro linguistic programming. One simple thing that I have done, I work with someone. I don't know if you've heard of Bruce Lipton.
Yeah.
He explained that when you're under hypnosis, that's when you can kind of change that. And one way you can do that is to record your voice,
Mm-hmm.
like saying things like, I am deserving of forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. That's one statement that I make. I've learned to make them general, not specific, because I don't want a Palomino horse anymore.
Yeah, right? Careful
But
what you ask for.
when you do that, and I can listen to it before I fall asleep, it's that point right when you're falling asleep that it can kind of switch your brain.
Yeah.
Seems to be helping a little. Tell me how you deal with that, because
Mm-hmm.
even though we know, you and I are intelligent, we're talking about this, we've seen it work. We've seen that when we take care of ourselves, we can live our dreams, which is going to impact more people. It's going to help the world more. So you're actually being less selfish by taking care of yourself.
Yep. Yep.
But how come it's so hard to believe that?
I know, right? As you said, right? It's the belief. And as we know, the subconscious is about 95% of what's going on in our brains. And that's where the programs live from childhood, as you said, the neural pathways that really run our life. And so consciously, logically, I can say, I don't want to be a people pleaser anymore. I want to set a boundary, or I want to say no. That's only like 5% of what's going on. The rest is that program running under the surface, that old software that's saying it's not safe to say no. It's not safe to show up and be bigger or bolder, or, disappoint somebody. And so for me, I have the people pleaser program, right?
I do too.
Yeah. So I had to really dismantle that. And as you're saying, it's like we can logically know what we have to do, but when we go to do it, if your subconscious doesn't feel safe to do it, you won't be showing up like that, not consistently. And so what I realized is inner safety is really the key. And so number one, you've got to know what your program is. Are you a people pleaser? Are you a perfectionist? Are you a control freak? Like, what is it?
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got to understand that your brain's only job is to keep you safe. Your brain doesn't want you to be successful. That means you got to get out of your comfort zone and stretch and grow.
Right.
And that signals danger to your brain. So your brain's only job is to keep you safe. And therefore, we have to start creating safety around taking new action. So just like you were saying about what I love that about recording your voice and then basically hypnotizing yourself with your own voice at night, right? That's it. It's like, it's safe to show up. It's safe to set a boundary because I'm safe. I'm not looking for it outside with somebody else. I'm building that inner safety inside. And when you do that, your brain starts to submit. Your brain starts to relax and starts to be open to even the idea of doing it differently. For me, that was a transformational shift of understanding that one key point. And then it goes into, okay, if that's true, how do you do it? How do you help your body and your brain to feel safe when you're doing something different, when you're getting out of your comfort zone? Yeah.
So, okay, questions. I have a couple of questions. So those are 3 great things to do. I have done a test to find out how I'm programmed. I was equally a perfectionist and a high achiever.
Right.
I had little pieces of everything, and I can't even remember where I got that test. How can people learn where they're coming from?
Exactly. So I actually have a free test that is,
Yay!
I'm wondering if you did positive intelligence. Was it the
Yes, I
saboteurs?
did.
Yeah, saboteurs.
Yes,
You
I
can do
did.
that one too, which is awesome. I actually did the training with him.
I did some too with him.
Yeah. Okay. Hello.
Yes. I love it.
But I created my own, and it's for women. And this is about, I talk about becoming the queen of your life, because we are meant to be queens. We are meant to like sit on the throne with our crown on our head. What does that mean? It means we know who we are. We know our identity as a queen in our own life. And we're not out there like talking to the villagers, trying to convince them, that we're the queen. It's like, no, you are. That is your identity. And when you actually become the queen of your life, you know your power, you know your resources, you know who your advisory council is, but you're making the decisions. And so I use this framework of the queen of your life because it's really helped me to see like, okay, who you are, what your identity is, but then we've got to look at the masks, right? What are the masks we wear to try to blend in, to try to fit in, to try to be accepted, to try to stay safe? And each mask represents one of these areas, like you said, the victim or the pleaser or the controller. And so I've created this free assessment for women, and you will see like, which mask do I wear the most? Like I said, for me, it's the pleaser, which I call the mirror mask, because we're always looking out. And that reflection that comes back is how we've been designed to see our worth.
Well, it's so interesting, Val, because what I've discovered is actually people pleasing I've really wasted a lot. That one of the things I'm doing right now is keeping track of how much time I waste worrying about what other people think.
Yeah.
But it also is, in a weird way, really focusing on yourself only.
Yes.
I mean, I don't even get to talk to anyone else because I'm so worried about what they're going to think of me.
Okay,
what about
so
connecting with someone, right?
Exactly. So say more about that, because I think that's really important when we talk about people pleasing. We're so used to being like, oh yeah, like I take care of everybody. But what you're saying is this sort of deeper level that's actually more insidious, I think. I'm curious to hear more about that.
Yeah, and I don't even know. I got nervous when you asked me to talk more about it because I haven't thought about it a lot. But I know that it's there, and the realization came to me when I started thinking about how much time do I waste thinking about this and how I'm not living and
Mm.
connecting with other people. How, in a way, it's kind of a bad selfish.
Mm.
It is
Mm.
actually being selfish.
The one we don't want.
Yeah, and it's funny, and it's a little bit, I don't know how to say this, a little prideful, like a little
Yeah.
bit controlling, a little bit, I've got this. I'm perfect. Oh, that's real fun to connect with.
Yeah, right.
Who wants to be my friend if I'm like trying to be perfect all the time? I lived so much of my life like that, like not making real
Yeah.
connections
Yeah.
because that there was this big, and that was the thing. And I was just talking about this today. I did a YouTube short today. And if you go look at it, I look ungodly awful. I have no makeup on. I'm on my walk. My hair is frizzing out. But I was thinking about why it bothered me so much to have cancer
Mm.
because it's like it's humbling.
Yeah.
I was always so in control. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have to go through chemo because I'm, the people pleaser. No one wants to be someone who has cancer, right? So
No.
that like stripped me of that. But it was just today, like over a year later, that it hit me over the head. Don't forget that lesson.
Yeah.
Don't forget that lesson in humility
Mm.
and Val, another thing I wanted to mention, I'm taking notes. That's why I'm looking down
Mm.
as well. You said you're queen of your life. And that's what worked for you, what changed my life. And I think it's because of my relationship with God. But as soon as I started saying, I'm a daughter of the king,
Mm.
well, you know what I mean? That was what got me like, I can do anything. Hey,
Right.
I'm the daughter of the king.
Right.
It's the same thing that you're
Same
saying.
thing.
Yes.
It's the identity.
Yes. Okay. Now tell me, did I talk enough? You were interested in that people pleasing and how it's actually more selfish. Did I dig
Mm.
in there enough or did I evade the topic?
Let's dig a little more.
Oh, great.
You're like, I'm kidding. No, because I loved what you said about the sort of like that it can be a bit self-righteous or it can be a little bit like, I know how to make everybody happy.
Yep.
I know. But what I learned was that, wait a second, am I being manipulative? Because I know how to shapeshift and be what other people want me to be or need me to be so that they're comfortable or they're happy. Why? Because I don't want to be uncomfortable.
Yep.
Because that discomfort of somebody being disappointed in me, for example, is too much. So let me just be who you need me to be so you're comfy. And then I don't have to sit in my own discomfort. And when I realized that, I was like, oh, wait a second. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's not because I want to help that person. It's because I don't want to feel
Yeah.
uncomfortable. And this isn't about judging ourselves or blaming ourselves. That is literally a trauma response from childhood, usually. And that's how we stayed safe. Like that
Yep.
worked. So we can understand that, right? With grace and compassion for our former self who did what
Right.
she needed to do. But now it's our responsibility to deal with that and to heal it. And so for me, it really was like, oh, yeah, I'm actually doing this for me.
Right. And
Yeah.
isn't there freedom in that?
Yeah.
Because you actually get to say what you think. Because isn't it so exhausting? Like I thought that I was an introvert. I don't think I'm an introvert. I think I'm just
I'm
so
not getting that vibe, Lesa.
no, I like one-on-ones
Yeah.
a lot more than big parties,
Same.
but it's so exhausting to go in and try to read the room. What does she want? What does she want?
Yeah.
Here's the interesting thing though, Val, is that it really made me I think I'm a really good mediator.
Yeah.
It really when I sit down with a couple, I'm so trained.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
there are gifts.
Well,
There
that's
are
like
gifts in
the
it.
superpower side of it.
Yes,
You
yes.
know, like I always think of it as like it's not bad. There is a superpower side to it. Like you said, you know how to mediate. You can read a room. You can
Mhm.
pick up on energy and where people are at. I think that's the superpower. And then there's like, the kryptonite side of it
Yep.
that isn't great. But yeah, it's like, how do we take it and use it in a good way, in a powerful way, and then, start to diminish the need for the other side, which is, yeah, I know how to be what you want. I know how to dress in a way
Yeah.
that doesn't, that I blend in,
Yeah.
or how to not say anything that would offend anybody. And
Yes.
I mean, you have a podcast. You got to speak the truth, and some people are going to like it and some people
Yeah.
aren't. And how do you handle that?
Right.
You know?
Right. Okay. So now tell me, okay, so we kind of talked about, we're going to have in the show notes how people can get that free quiz.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we talk about, I'm just curious is how did you, and I'll share how I'm trying to make myself feel safe.
Mm.
And the only way that I found, and you probably have a better way because I'm just, muscling through this on my own here, is I keep trying to do it different, doing life
Mm.
different, right? So I'm like, I wake up, and if I'm going out to a party, even if it's going to be a little uncomfortable, I'm going to speak what I think.
Mm.
Even if I
Mhm.
read the room and it's not what they think. In fact, I
Yeah.
just did it over lunch with my daughter and her sister-in-law and my other daughter, and they all have different political views. And I was able to speak my truth with love and kindness. And my gosh, don't we need that in this world?
Totally. Yes.
So that was good practice.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes it's hard, Val, like when my son, who's like my golden boy, if I do something that bugs him because I tell him what I think,
Mhm.
it's really uncomfortable.
Right.
And then I just go to him, I'm a people pleaser. This is really hard.
And yet you're modeling something powerful,
Yeah.
right? You're modeling what it looks like to be a strong woman with opinions who's able to communicate them in a healthy way.
Yes.
He needs that too.
Yeah, he does. And he's a lot like me.
Yeah. So
So,
it's like reminding yourself that, yeah, it's uncomfy, especially when it's your kid, perhaps, who's like, not okay with what you're saying. But it's like they also need to see that. They also need to
yeah.
see you being that woman who says, I know what I believe, and it's
Right.
okay if you disagree.
And that was exactly the conversation we
Yeah.
had.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I find it the courage to do scary things, because there
Yeah.
are going to be scary things and we're going to be uncomfortable. And once you do it, you go, okay, well, I guess you build that evidence. But tell me,
Yeah.
Val, how did you feel safe
Yeah.
inside?
Yeah. I mean, it's a complex journey, but I will say a couple things. One is connect to yourself. And this means you got to sit with yourself, by yourself, and start listening in, right? Listening in. Because the more you tune into your truth, not the lies in your head, but the truth of your spirit, your soul, the more you tune in, the more you hear the truth of who you really are and what's actually safe, right? So I see that as like sitting in the discomfort of being with yourself, which a lot of people don't want to do. They're
Mm-hmm.
distracting, they're avoiding, and I did that for 4 decades. I was running from that.
Mm-hmm.
And so my selfish year was I was literally by myself for basically a year. I went into deep solitude.
You did.
And yeah, I did, because I left my relationship and then I moved countries. I came back to Canada. I'm Canadian. And we were living as expats in Spain at the time. So I left and I said, I need some space to figure things out. And then 2020, the COVID happened, the borders closed, and there I was exactly where I needed to be.
Yeah.
Couldn't go anywhere. And I rented an empty apartment and I sat in it for a year. And there's this Blaise Pascal quote, and it says, all of humanity's problems stem from our inability to sit quietly in a room alone. And man, do I ever believe that. So sitting by myself, getting out into nature, feeling into like, who am I? What is the truth? Okay, that's number one. But going back to what you said with your son, I see it as also taking micro changes. I like this term, micro changes,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, no, if you think of like doing the big scary thing, like leaving a marriage, like going through chemo, like whatever it is, it's going to feel so overwhelming. That's not safe. Your mind and body are going to shut that down, and you're not going to go and do what you need to do, speak up, whatever. But if you think of a micro change like that, like you said at lunch, I'm going to say one thing. It's small enough that you can do it. It still feels scary, but after you do it, it builds that evidence that like,
Right.
I'm okay. I survived. It was safe. And those micro changes, I think, is how we do it. So whether it's speaking up or, talking to a friend and saying something or wearing something that you normally wouldn't wear, like look for that tiny little shift that feels a little bit uncomfortable, but not so scary that you're going to sabotage. And I think that's also key. So I always look at it as like the inner and the outer. Connect to self, sit with yourself, learn about yourself, get to know yourself, and then take a small action. And as you said, right, feel the fear and do it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Just take that little step. That's all you need to do.
I like that because my husband always teases me. I'm one of those people that if I'm in a car, it's either blasting heat or freezing cold. Like, and then whoa, it's like,
All or
hands in the
nothing.
metal, baby. It's just, and so I could be someone that would just come out and go, and then just get so beat up, and I would have a hard time picking the pieces up again.
Right, right. And so when we sort of pull the reins back and go, okay, one small step, what is it? Do your YouTube video or, whatever it is. And it's like, I did it. I mean, how do we build courage? We watch ourselves doing scary things.
Yeah.
And then we look back and go, look what I just did. And you have a little more courage. But look, we don't need courage if we're not afraid. So fear is necessary. We just have to know how to use it to start to give us the action in the right direction.
Yeah. I love that. This is so helpful. Val, I was like, this is going to be one of my best podcasts. I thought that before I jumped on, and I'm like, I really think it is because I feel like it's been so authentic.
Yeah.
And that I've been able to chat with you and meet a new friend.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. And I feel like our time is up, which I hate.
Yeah.
But can we connect again? Can we talk about another topic? Because this is so fun. And this is like, this is what every woman needs, right?
I know. Literally, can we just sit, have coffee, chat with our friends who are listening, chat with each other, and have a real conversation. Like we're craving authenticity. And it's so easy, again, to show up with that mask of like, look at me, I'm the perfect whatever. And that's all BS. Okay.
Right.
We're all just like, trying to figure this out. I like to say this is the first time all of us are being humans. Like,
amen. And it's so funny because I'm sitting here fighting a hot flash.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now this is not being authentic. I'm like trying to pretend I'm not having it.
I know, right? Like I'm fine as is like spread. It happened to me yesterday. I was on a podcast and the Zoom kept kicking us out. The Wi-Fi kept kicking us out. Like 3 times we're trying and we're like, oh my gosh, like we're all just figuring this out. Nobody knows what they're doing, but we're all just sharing our lives and wherever you're at. I mean, Ram Dass, right? What he said, we're all just walking each other home. Like, that's it. We're all on the path.
I love that. Yeah.
We're all
okay.
Yeah.
So mine comes from Joe Rogan. He's not that deep.
Yeah.
We're all just a bunch of babies trying to figure things out. And I'm like, I do kind of love that.
So for you and me to have a conversation like this, I think really this is what people need to hear is like, what's the real deal of where you are, how you got there. And that's what my book is about, really.
I can't wait to read it. I think we're going to have to talk again after that. And what I want to say is we talked about hard things and how life is hard, but I also will say I have never in my life felt as much joy and peace as I can at moments. It's not always. It's not like a switch went off and woo, I'm amazing. Yeah. But it is better. It is different.
Yeah. And look, isn't that the result? Like that's the result. How you feel, if you feel more joy, peace, contentment, happiness, that's the result of all the work you've been doing.
Yeah.
And how we feel is everything.
Yep.
It really is. And so that's what we're doing it all for, isn't it? Just to feel
Mhm.
that feeling of like, ah, feel some happiness today, excitement, joy, anticipation. For someone, for me who used to be depressed and sad and anxious, that's revolutionary.
Yeah. And to know too that it's not, there's going to be those feelings too. And we don't need to be
Yeah.
afraid of them, but you
Yeah.
can feel more of the joy. And that's what
Right.
I am walking towards. And Val, I have loved our conversation.
And
I loved
amazing.
chatting with you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for hanging out,
Yeah,
and super excited. We're definitely going to do this again.
for sure. Thanks so much, Val.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.